And like I say every week, if they don't score, we got a good chance to win. So as much as we can keep the points down, the better off we have a chance.
Do you think that saved you guys a game or two over the course of this season so far?
It always helps. I mean, field position is critical, and obviously points are as well. And like I said, if they don't score, we should win.
Thanks, guys.
This is another week where you guys are facing a quarterback situation where you don't know who's going to be out there. Did it help that you have already faced this sort of challenge of preparing for multiple quarterbacks, or is it just different because it's a different team?
Well, I think it's a little bit different. They obviously have their pass concepts and their pass protections and their formations they like to run. If you look at their games in regards to the quarterback, they have certain things that they like and certain matchups. There's 10 other guys we got to deal with other than the quarterback. So our preparation doesn't change from that standpoint.
Are the quarterbacks, the three of them, do they feel very different, or can you sort of just?
Well, Troy obviously we went against last year, and he won a lot of games for him. He's obviously a quarterback that is very elusive in the pocket. He keeps his eyes downfield when he's in the pocket, and he's got the ability to run the zone read plays in the running game. So he's a dual threat quarterback in our eyes. And the freshman quarterback obviously, was injured, and he's very much a dual threat. Maybe a run first and throw second type guy.
Does it help that going back to Alabama, even Cooper Bateman, you already sort of will have looked at him too?
There wasn't a lot of tape on him. If you remember going into that game, it was the first game of the year, and we didn't know who we were going to play against. And he did play a little bit in that game, but there was very limited amount of action that we had on him. But our guys will be ready, whoever we put out there, whoever they put out there, and whoever we put out there, they'll be ready to go.
And then last year, it came down to the final seconds with their offense on the field and the defense on the field. What can you tell the team to help them, deal with that situation better, or sort of like turn that around, that situation?
Well, that was last year. I mean, obviously on that last drive, we gave up a couple critical third downs that would have got us off the field, particularly early in that drive. We haven't talked much about last year. We moved on to this year, and that's all we can really control is what's going to happen on Saturday.
Thank you.
Do you think
Nice. Sorry.
Do you think there's anything special that this year's team brings to the table versus last year's team for Utah?
They're spreading the field a little bit more. They're running a little bit more 4 and 5 receiver sets than they have in the past. But they're distributing the ball to a lot of different players, and a lot of guys have done some really good things for them in their skill positions. So they force you to defend the whole field.
Hear a lot about Christian Rector's football IQ. Kenichi and Johnny just mentioned that. Are there some other younger guys that you're kind of sensing that their IQ is kind of on, I won't say on par, but you're impressed with?
Jordan Iosefa, John Houston are guys that jump out right away. YK's come a long way in the last few weeks, the more that he's played. Marvell Tell, I think, has gotten better the more he's played this year. Jack Jones is doing a better job of recognizing what his matchup is and the routes that he's going to get and where he's at on the field. So those would be the guys that jump out to me right away.
And about Jack, are you happy with where it seems like he's progressed kind of nicely? Are you kind of happy with what you're seeing from him?
I am. He's a guy that's very competitive. He likes challenges, and people have gone at him a lot this year. And I've seen him getting better every single week. He had very limited reps for us last year. He got in late in some games when maybe it wasn't real meaningful. So he didn't have a lot of experience coming into this year. And so I've seen him improve each and every week. There's things he's got to work on, and he knows that. But I'm anticipating him getting better as we keep playing.
In your defense, do you have a cornerback that you put on the best receiver from each team?
It just depends. I've done it in the past in the NFL, and last year we did some with Adoree. I'm not a big fan of that. I like the corners playing left and right so they have the same footwork, see the same part of the field, have their eyes inside at the quarterback and reading the number 2 and 3 receivers from the same part of the field. It just changes a lot when they got to switch sides. When you're in that position where you've got to be matched up against somebody that's maybe a very good athlete, I like as much as we can have in our advantage of the techniques and the looks being the same is more benefit to us.
Thank you, Coach.
What would go into deciding